Hello everyone. Today we are finding out the angles of some trigonometric ratios in all four quadrants and in the last basic graphs of trigonometric functions. Alright, so first of all I'll explain you how to find out the angles and in which quadrant they are. Okay, so in the first quadrant all three angles are positive, and in the second quadrant sine theta is positive, third quadrant tan theta is positive, and in the fourth quadrant cos theta is positive. Basically this topic is of IGCSE 0580 students, and in AdMath it's a very basic topic. So in this diagram you can see in the you can whenever you were doing it, you were easily you can understand CAST in short. We always remember. In the first quadrant, all positive. Alright. If all positive means your sine is also positive, cos is also positive, and tan is also positive. Alright. In the second quadrant, whenever we check, this is the second quadrant. So here is the first quadrant and this is the second quadrant. So in the second quadrant, if sine is positive, then it means cos and tan is negative. Okay. Then we come to the third quadrant. As you can see, it's written tan. Whenever tan is positive, then it means sine and cos, they both are negative. Alright. Now in the fourth quadrant, if you just check, if cos is positive, then it means that sine is negative and your tangent is tan is also negative. But remember, recall, you just remember this diagram CAST. You can memorize with cast also. So start from the fourth quadrant. All right. So like here it's written also that sine theta is in first and second quadrant positive. Sine is negative in the third and fourth quadrant, as I've explained it at the top. Cos theta is it's positive is in the first and third quadrant. The first and the fourth quadrant. The cos is positive, and in the last the tan is positive in the first and third quadrant. Okay, first and third quadrant. So it means that in the second and the fourth quadrant it is negative. Just memorize cast diagram, then you will not have any problem. Now I'm explaining you how to find out the angle, because this is a problem with the kids. They don't understand when to do 180 minus or 180 plus or 360 minus. Alright, so I'm just drawing the four diagrams for some values of theta in the four quadrants, which will be the acute angle. We'll find out some basic angle. For example, if you just take any angle which is the basic angle and observe that in the angle are in the anti-clockwise, because the angle is positive. Otherwise, whenever the angle is negative, then we go clockwise. First of all, I'm going to discuss with you the angle is positive. Alright. So for example, if I get the angle 45 degrees. Okay, so for example, if the angle is 45, the theta is coming 45 degree, the basic angle is coming 45 degree, and it's the sine angle. Sine, cos or tan, you just take it out afterwards. First of all, theta is positive. If the angle is in the first quadrant, then the angle is 45 degrees. If the angle is in the second quadrant, for example, sine is positive and the others are negative. Okay, so the angle will be equals to, I just draw the diagram separately, then you will understand more. This is the first quadrant. If the angle is in the second quadrant, you will draw the basic angle 45 degree. So as I've told you, for positive ones you go anti-clockwise. So this one will be equals to, in the second quadrant, I'm talking about this second quadrant, it is 180 minus 45 degrees, and find out the angle. Okay, that can be equals to 135 degrees. Okay, So this is the angle in the second quadrant. Just discuss for the third quadrant. For example, if the angle is in the third quadrant, so this is 45 degree. I'm keeping the same angle, then you can easily understand. Third quadrant means if you see CAST, if the tan is positive, here CAST, it means the sine is positive in the first one. And in the third diagram, you have tan is positive. So basic angle 45 you will make here, and you go anti-clockwise. So this will be equals to 180 plus 45 degrees. All right. So what do? You just find out for the third quadrant 180 plus 45, which will be equals to 225 degrees. We are talking about the positive angle. All right. Now, for example, if your angle is coming in the fourth quadrant, CAST, it means that cos is positive here. Okay, so basic angles you draw here. Okay, and then you will have the angle will be equals to this is 360 minus 45 degree, and then you will calculate it. 360 minus 45 is equals to 315 degree, which is in the fourth quadrant. All right, so we know that it is 0, and here 90, 270, 0, 90, 180 and 270, and then 360 degree. 180, 270 and 360 degree. 0 to 90 degree angles are lying in the first quadrant. 90 to 180 degree angles are lying in the second quadrant. 90 to 180 in the second quadrant. 180 to 270 are lying in the third quadrant, which is tan positive, and 270 to 360 degree, this is lying in the fourth quadrant. So we can easily understand this one. So remember basic angles, how we draw the basic angles. The basic angles will be, you draw here, either if it's in the first quadrant, here if it in the second quadrant, you will draw with the your line, the third quadrant here and the fourth quadrant here. So I don't think so you'll have any problem. The same thing, whenever the angle is negative, you don't go anti-clockwise. Then in that case, you go clockwise. So almost they ask you for the positive some of the times if the angle is negative. And for example, I'll just give you one example for this. When the theta is negative, like for example, they're telling you sine of minus x, like this. For example, your angle is coming 45. So then you will make here, okay. Then it will be, you go clockwise, then it is minus 45. In that case, it will be 360. I'll do one example of the negative also, then you can easily understand it. Let's start the questions now, okay. Find all the angles. I have many examples I have gathered together. So they're gathered here. So it's not a problem for you whenever you solve these questions. Okay. So find all the angles x where your angle is between 0 to 360 degree. It means sine, cos, tan, everything you are going to find out. So I'll tell you in detail, you will not have any problem. Number 1, cos x is equals to minus 0.71. It's a first question. Okay, so whenever it is angle, we'll have to find out, we do inverse. So x is equals to cos inverse minus 0.71. Okay, now I've press shift and cos inverse, that is minus 0.71. Okay, check it that it's the same number, and then it's becoming 135.2 degrees. All right, I'm taking to 1 decimal place angles. Okay, so this is becoming 135.2 degrees. So your basic angle is coming 135. Okay, just find out basic angle, that will be the answer. Find out the basic angle, shift, cos inverse, and then you have 0 point, then I'll explain you the thing how 135 comes, because you have to find out the other angle also. So just forget minus plus and then find out the basic angle and then find out the others as well. So this is becoming 44.76 degrees. Okay, so you can say 44.876 if I'm taking 44.8 degrees. Okay, so your angle is coming 44 point, your basic angle is coming 44.8 degrees. So basic angle is 44.8 and cos negative, CAST. It means cos is negative here also and cos is negative in the third quadrant also. So that angle I have found, theta is equals to 44, x is equals to 44.8 degrees. Okay, your angle is coming 44, your basic angle is coming 44.8 degrees. Your basic angle is coming 44.8. So draw here 44.8 and 44.8. If you want me to make a separate diagram, then I can make it. So the first angle is, this is up till here. So this is becoming 180 minus 44.8. And the other angle will be 44.8, 180 plus 44.8. I have explained you how to find out the angles. If you need to find out the angle in the second quadrant, that it is 180 minus, and if it is in the third quadrant, that it is 180 plus. And in the diagram also you can easily see. So this is 180 minus 44.8 is equals to 135.2, which we have found already, that cos inverse. So first of all, the angle which I have found, this was 135.2. So with this you will find out 135.2 is your answer, and the other one is 180 plus 44.8 is equals to, that is 224.8, 224.8 degrees. These are the two answers whenever your cos is negative. I hope you have understood. So in this question, cos was negative and the basic angle we found 44.8. Now the part B. In part B, 10x is equals to 1.732. Same thing we'll do, x is equals to 1.732. First of all, we find out the basic angle, and whenever you just check that CAST, tan is positive here also and tan is positive here also. The basic angle you will have here and the basic angle you will have in the third quadrant. Okay, so x is equals to tan inverse 1.732. Okay, find out, shift tan inverse 1.732, and then you will get the basic angle, which is equals to 59.999, means 60 degrees. Okay, so the basic angle is also 60 degree and angle is also 60 degree. So in this question, the basic angle is equals to 60 degree, which is in the first and the third quadrant. Now we are going to find out in the third quadrant, or x will be equals to, whenever I check in the third quadrant, then I'll do 180 plus 60 degrees. So this is 180 plus 60 degree, which is equals to 240 degrees. So two angles we have found in the question, that tan is positive, so the angle whatever it is, and 180 plus 60 degree. All right, now part C, sine is positive. Okay, in the first question we had cos negative, then tan positive. Now sine is positive, so whatever the angle we'll get, CAST, will have angle here, wherever all positive, and the angle here. So in the second quadrant, if it is, then we'll do for this one, this at 180 minus, obviously, okay, because whatever the angle will be coming here will go clockwise, then it will be 180 minus. Okay, so let's find out. X will be equals to sine inverse 0.866. so just find out shift sine inverse 0.866. the basic angle is equals to 59.99. so that's the same number, 60 degrees. So x will be equals to 60 degree. So for this one, we can see this x is equals to 60 degree wherever the sign is positive. All right. Now it is in the second quadrant also. If it is in the second quadrant, then it is, I'm drawing the basic angle which is 60 degree. Then obviously you do 180 minus 60. So that is, or x is equals to 180 minus the basic angle which is 60 degree, which will be equals to 120 degrees. So we have found both the answers between 0 to 360 degrees, 60 and 120 degrees. All right, very easy question. Now we are moving to part D question. Now 10 is negative. So you remember that is CAST, then all positive, sign positive in the second, 10 positive in the third. So it means that here 10 negative, here 10 negative. Basic angles will be here. So if it is in the second quadrant, then it is 180 minus, and if it is in the fourth quadrant, then 360 minus. Okay. Now find out basic angle. X is tan inverse. Just find out what is 2 and then decide what to do in the next one. It's not in the first quadrant, so whatever the angle will come, that will not be our answer. So shift tan inverse 2 bracket close equals 63.4 degrees. So your basic angle is 63.4 degrees. Now the first of all, it's here wherever tan is negative, 63.4. Okay, so it means it is 180 minus, x is equals to 180 minus 63.4 degrees. So do 180 minus 63.4, and that is coming 116.6 degree. That is your first answer. And for the second answer, I'm drawing here where in the fourth quadrant only cos is positive, tan is negative. So your basic angle was 63.4. All right, so we'll go like this, which will be equals to 360 minus 63.4. X is equals to 360 minus 63.4 degrees. 360 minus 63.4, and that is coming 296.6 degrees. 296.6 degree, which shows it's in the fourth quadrant. So this is one answer, this is the other answer. Now part E question, which we'll have to solve like algebraic equation the same way like we usually solve, like x minus 3 is equals to 0, like that. Okay, so solving the equation, 10x is equals to 10 cos x is equals to 3. It was negative, it will become positive. 3 cos x is equals to 3 over 10, and x is equals to cos inverse 3 over 10, and cos is positive, remember. Shift and then cos inverse 3 over 10, 3 upon 10, and then go up, close the bracket, equals 72.5 degrees. So your basic angle is 72.5 degrees. So the basic angle is 72.5 degrees. Now we have to decide what to do. It was negative, cos is negative. It was positive. For positive cos, it's in the first quadrant, and the positive cos it's in the fourth quadrant, CAST. So it means your basic angle is 72.5, and here it will be 360 minus 72.5. So first of all, the basic angle x is equals to the same 72.5 degrees, which is in the first quadrant. And if we have to find out the angle in the fourth quadrant, I'm again and again drawing the diagram that you will easily understand it. That's 72.5 degrees. So we go anti-clockwise, that is 3, or x is equals to 360 minus 72.5 degrees. So this is 360 minus 72.5, and that is becoming 287.5. So that is 287 point, oh, just wait a minute, 0.5 degrees. So there are the two answers. Your cos is positive, the first quadrant angle is 72.5 degree, and your fourth quadrant angle is 287.5 degrees. All right, question number part F. Okay, so we'll solve the same way. 4 tan x minus 4 equals to 3 times 5 is 15 minus 3 2s is 6 tan x. Now keep tan x at one side to simplify the question. 4 tan x plus 6 tan x is equals to 15 plus 4, which is equals to 19. 10 tan x, 4 and 6 become 10. Like usually you solve your algebraic equations, we are doing the same thing. So tan x is equals to 19 over 10, and it's positive. X is tan inverse 19 over 10. So remember, tan positive is in CAST here in the first quadrant, and in the third quadrant, means 180 plus. So let's find out what is the answer for the angle. So tan inverse 19 over 10, 19 upon 10. Go up and close the bracket. That is equals to 62.24 means 62.2 degrees. So first answer is 62.2 degrees because it's in the first quadrant. 62.2. Now we are going to find out the angle for the third quadrant because tan is positive in the third quadrant. So 62.2 degrees. So this is 180 plus 62.2 degrees. So or x is equals to 180 plus 62.2 degrees. So that is 180 plus 62.2 degrees. So that is equals to 242.2 degrees. So the other answer is 242.2 degrees whenever your tan is positive. So it's in the first and the third quadrant. Now the question is coming for negative. Okay, so let's see how to find out. So this is 2 sine minus x is equals to 0.3 over 2. Okay, let's find out how much is the angle. Sine inverse 0.3, angle will be negative, upon 2. Okay, sine inverse, we are going to find out first of all the basic angles. That is 0.3 upon 2. That is becoming equals to 8.62 means you can take up to one decimal place, 8.6. So as I've told you, we'll go here anti-clockwise. Okay, so angle we'll make not as the basic angle in your all positive, we'll make here. So that is 8.6. CAST. First of all, you will find out here which is equals to, obviously if the angle is, basic angle is here, then you do 360 minus 8.6. Okay, that angle will be equals to 360, the x is equals to 360 minus 8.6. 360 minus 8.6, which is equals to 351.4, because we cannot write down 8.6 because it's in the fourth quadrant. Okay, wherever the cos is positive and we have sine negative and angle is also negative, so that's why we made the angle here. So that is 351.4 4 degrees, and it's obviously in the here in the third quadrant, 8.6. So that will become 180 plus 8.6. So other angle will be 180 plus 8.6. So that is 180 plus 8.6. So that is becoming 188.6 degrees. So these are the two answers. I hope you understood. For H part, you can see cos square. So it means we'll have two answers for x as the basic angles. Okay, it will be obviously positive, negative. So cos square of x is equals to half. Then cos of x is equals to plus and minus 1 upon 2. So we'll find out cos inverse plus square root 1 over 2, or x will be equals to cos inverse minus 1 upon square root 2, these two things. So we are going to find out the angles there. Okay, so shift, first of all find out the positive one. Okay, wait. Okay, now you have square root. Wait. Square root, you press square root and then numerator, denominator, that is 1. Positive one we are finding out first. Okay. And then close the bracket, that is coming 45 degrees. Okay. So that is, your angle is coming, basic angle is coming 45 degree wherever the cos is positive. So that is 45 degrees. So for that thing, first of all, we'll calculate one set of answer for positive and one set of answer whenever you get the angle negative. Alright. So that is becoming, this is 45 degrees, and for 45 degrees, CAST, it's coming here 45 degree, or it's coming in the cost, which is equals to 360 minus 45 degrees. So the other one is 45 degrees here, which is because cos is positive, so that's why 360 minus 4, or 360 x is equals to 360 minus 45 degrees, and then 360 minus 45 is equals to 315 degrees. So two sets of answers we have already calculated. Now this whenever it is negative also we are going to find out. Okay, so whenever it is negative, for negative 1, as you know, the basic angle is 45. For positive 1 it is 45 and 360 minus 45, and for the negative 1, now the basic angle is 45. For the negative 1, it's coming CAST, if it's coming here 45, and it's coming in tan positive, it's coming here 45, wherever the cos is negative in the second and the third quadrant. So for the second quadrant, obviously 180 minus 45, 180 minus 45, which is 180 minus 45, it's becoming 135 degrees, or if it is in the third quadrant, then it is 180 plus 45. Okay, so that is 180 plus 45 is equals to 225. So you can see, whenever you have both positive and negative angles are your trigonometric ratios are coming same, both. So that's why you get 4 answers here. So the trigonometric ratios are positive also and the negative also. When they were positive, cos positive, you got 45 and 315 degrees because it was in the first and the fourth quadrant, and when it's the trigonometric ratio is negative, then it's in the second and the third quadrant. That's why you were getting 135 and 225 degrees. So what do? In the last, you write all four answers, then x will be equals to 45 is the least number, then 135, and then 225 and 315 degrees. They are all four answers for this questions. Okay. Now part J. In part J, 1075 you will find out the answer, but when you round off a number and find out your answer in many steps, then obviously you will get a different answer. So I'm doing it together in one step. So 3 sine x is equals to tan 75 minus 2. Sine x is equals to tan 75 minus 2 over 3, and x will be equals to, we are going to find out the basic angle whenever sine is positive, tan 75 minus 2 over 3. Let's find out what is the answer for this part. Okay. So here it is, just find out, this is shift, and then you can find out if sine has tan 75 separately also, doesn't make any difference, but don't write down the number whenever too many decimal places are there, then it makes difference in your answer. So you have sine inverse and then tan 75 minus 2, and then come down. You have 3 here, go up, bracket close, equals, wait, sine inverse, and then tan 75. If you are just writing down tan 75, if it's coming in the third form, then write down in the third form. Okay, but try to get the answer as much accurate you can. 35.2, 35.3 degrees up to 1 decimal place rounded off, so that is becoming 35.3, and it is positive, so obviously the basic angle is, it's coming here, or it will come in sign positive here. So obviously the second answer will be 180 minus 35.3 degrees. Okay. So that is 180 minus 35.3, which is equals to 144.7. Alright, so in this case, you get either 35.3, which is in the first quadrant, or in the second quadrant, 144.7. Alright, the next question, part J. So this is the last question, and then we'll discuss some basic graphs of sine, cos, and tan. Okay, so that is, you just simply cross multiply 8 cos x plus 1 when it's multiplied with 1, 3 times 2 minus cos x, and then 8 cos x plus 1 is 6 minus 3 cos x. Okay, because 3 will multiply with the both terms. Just keep cos x at one side, plus 3 cos x is equals to 6, and this 1 we write down here minus 1. This one, it was plus 1, we write down minus 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, cos x is equals to 5. Cos x is 5 over 11. X is cos inverse 5 over 11. So basic angles, cos inverse 5, cos inverse 5 upon 11. Okay. And that is coming 62.9, means you can write down 63.0 degrees up to 1 decimal place, 63.0 or 63 degrees. Alright, if they ask you in the question to write your answer to this much decimal place, so you should write down 63.0 degrees, okay? So 63 degree. Now we have cos positive here, and as you know that in the fourth quadrant, cos positive. So this is 63 degrees. So what do? We do say 360 minus 63. So or x is equals to 360 minus 63. So this is 360 minus 63 is equals to 297. Okay, so there are the two answers. I hope you understood. I did so many examples, and I told you how to find the basic angles and how to calculate the angle whenever it's in the first or the second or the third or the fourth quadrant, and in which quadrants these trigonometric ratios are positive or negative, or when the angle is negative, then what do you do? Okay, now the graphs of sine, cos and tan. So the graphs of sine, cosine and tan functions, whenever the graph of if you look at the sine function, so you remember these things which I've written here, where it is positive and where it is negative. And basic angles, their sine, cos and tan, you'll have to memorize, because that can come in your paper too. And this time in 0580 it's mentioned that memorize the values of the basic angles of their sine, cos and tan. Okay, so I'm going to draw, as you know that theta is 0. When angle is 0, the sine is also 0. When angle is 180 degree, the sine is the answer is 0, and the sine of 360 degree, that is also 0. All right, so I'm going to draw, but you take your ruler and draw it neatly. Okay, now wait, try to draw the straight line. All right, this is y-axis, x-axis, and we have to make the answers are between, remember, -1 to, it's lying between -1 to 1. Okay, always. Okay, so now I'm just breaking into 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360 degrees. Okay, in the first, when the angle is 0, the answer is also it's a sine of 0 is 0, and just write down here +1 and the -1 here. Okay, at 180 degree it's also 0, and at 360 degree it's also 0. Okay, when the angle is 90 degree, then it is 1, and when the angle is 270 degree, its answer is -1. So quickly join them together, these ones. All right, so this is the simple graph of sine x. Y is equals to sine x, and its values are lying between -1 to 1. Remember, you just put at 0 is 0, 180 is 0, and 360 is 0, and at 90 is 1, and 270 is -1. Okay, now moving to graph of cosine. For example, we have to draw a diagram or the graph of y is equals to cos x. Okay, so for this function y is equals to cos x, obviously it's also lying -1 to 1. Remember, when it is 0 and at 360 degree it's 1, and at 180 degree it's -1. Okay, and one more thing, cos of theta, it's 0, didn't mention, it's 0 when, just include this, sorry, when theta is 90 degree or 270 degrees. Okay, so now we are going to make it same way. X-axis, y-axis, and then between 1 and -1 it's 0, 90, 180, and it's becoming 270 and 360 degrees. All right, so between 0 to 360 degrees your angle. Now it's 0 whenever it's 90 and 270. Okay, wherever it's 90 and it's 270, it's 0. Okay, it's I've done this. It's 1 at 0 and 360 degree. It's 1 at 0 and 360 degree. It's 1. And it's -1 at 180 degree. And it's -1 at 180 degree. Now we are going to join them. Okay. So this is the basic graph of y is equals to cos x. Now graph of tan function, tangent function, this is tan theta is 0 whenever your angle is 0, 180 and 360 degree. Tan theta is 1 whenever it is 45, angle is 45 and 225, and tan theta is -1 whenever it is 135 and 315 degrees. And remember one thing, tan theta is also undefined. Tan theta is undefined whenever for theta is 90 and 270 degrees. It's not defined. So I'm going to make it now. For this time I'll have to, and it's also between, you know that it's between 0 to -1 to 1, -1 to 1. Okay, x not defined means you cannot connect the graphs like you were doing for reciprocal function, and that also you don't connect. So the same thing you do 1 and -1. This is 0. All right, and then okay, and then we'll make a difference of 45 numbers. Okay, 0, 45, 90, 135, and then you will have 180 degrees, and then you will have 225, and then you have 270s, and then you can write down 315 and 360. Okay, so here at 0, where it is 0, it's, I'm just making the one curve and then the other one. Okay, because otherwise you will have a lot of problem. So this is 0, and at 45 it's 1, 0, and it's 45 it's 1, and at 90 degree it's not defined. Okay, so we just make a line. We cannot connect the graphs. Okay, it's not defined. Okay, now for 90 it's for 90 degree it's not defined. Okay, we can make the line like this, like for example 90 degree, it goes straight up. Okay, now for the 135 degrees, and that is equals to -1, 135 degree and 315. 135 it's -1, and then at 180 degree it's 0. So whenever we just check at 225 degree, it's also 1. So 225 degrees it's also 1, but at 270 degree it's not defined. So at 270 degree it's not defined, so we'll make the curve like this. Okay, all right. Like here at 90 degrees it was not defined. Now the third line. So for this one, at 360 degree it's 0, and at 360 degree it's 0, and at 315 degrees, and just look up, it's -1. Okay, connect this line and just make it. And at 270 degree it's not defined, so 270 degree is just go straight. Okay, so we'll draw the diagram like this of your trigonometric functions. Like simply just we cannot connect all these three lines. So at 0 is at 180 and 360 degree, and at 0 degree it's also 0, and at 1 is 45 and 225, and -1 is 135 and 315 degrees, and for 90 degree and 270 degree it's not defined. Okay, so now one more thing which I wanted to tell you, that this time you will have to memorize the ratio, the answers for some trigonometric ratios, the basic thing that can come in your paper 2. All right, so remember the sine of, you just find out 0, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So remember this. So I'm writing down here those values. You will have to memorize this for your paper 2 questions. That can come like in your trigonometric ratio questions also. It can come, they can give you like, if it is 45, find out this answer. So you can easily find out the sine of 45, and then you will write down that sine of 45 is 1 upon square root 2 like this, and then you can find your answer. Please remember these things. I'm just writing down that sine of and cos of and tan. This table you must remember that it is 0 degrees for basic. You must remember this. It's very important. 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. If you remember, then you will not have any problem. That theta is equals to, okay. So this is, whenever sine of 0 is 0 and cos of 0 is 1, tan of 0 is 0. You know that tan is sine upon cos. Okay, that 1 upon 2 and square root 3 over 2, you will have cos of 30 degree, 1 upon square root 3. Okay, that 1 upon square root 2 is for 45 degree sine, 1 upon square root 2 is your cos of 45, and 1, that is the answer for tan of 45. Sine of 60 degree is square root 3 over 2, and that is cos will be half, and then it is square root 3, and 1, sine of 90 is 1, cos of 90 is 0, and you remember tan of 90 is not defined, so we don't have any answer. I hope this video will is helpful for you whenever you solve the questions of finding out angle of some finding out the angles in the 4 different quadrants, and then the basic graphs of the sine, cos and tan, and the values of angles. Alright, for more videos please like, share and subscribe. Alright, okay, thank you, bye bye.